Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia and I'm coming to you from the UK. Today is Sunday the 30th of November 2025 and I'm so glad I finally found some time to chat to you about my knitting. It's been another crazy week in terms of finding time to record. My son has 2 inset days, both last Friday and tomorrow. So that cuts into my usual sort of day off for life admin and podcasting. But here we are. To catch you up on what I've been knitting, I think we'll start with 2 FOs that I have. So the obvious one is what I am wearing. I am wearing the Olga sweater by Petite Knit. This is my second version. I have waffled on about both of my Olga sweaters many times, so I'll try to keep it short, but I did finish it, although it is not blocked. So because this is a Drops Cotton Merino, I am pretty sure this is going to, if anything, is going to grow. It's not going to get any smaller. It's going to probably relax a bit and get a bit bigger. At least that's my experience with this yarn from when I used to knit with it many years ago. My sister also knit the same jumper out of the same yarn and hers grew substantially, but she also accidentally had it on a much looser gauge. So obviously that will change things. But yeah, it is done. I just have not gotten around to blocking it. It is also not a sweater that I'll be wearing much right now, I think, because it is not super warm. It's a cotton merino. It's the perfect sweatshirt for sort of autumn and spring days. But right now it is freezing, at least to me it is. UK houses are not very good at retaining heat. We usually have around 18 degrees in the house if we're being generous. Sometimes we go up to 19. So it is cold. So we'll see if I keep wearing this throughout the episode or I might do a quick outfit change. But it's done and I'm so glad I pushed through it, honestly. I knew I would love it as soon as I finished it. Just the process of knitting it. This being the second time I've knit this in 2025 and also I love the colors. I think this will be really useful, but I didn't love knitting with the yarn. I prefer a woollier yarn generally. But yeah, it is done. So that is my first finished object. And my second finished object are some socks for my son. So as you probably know, if you've been watching for a while, I keep making these sort of school socks for my son where I do grey at the top because my son's school are quite strict. And then I do fun colors at the bottom. And he wears his hand-knit socks to death. He really loves them and he wears them all the time. And sadly, my favorite pair that I made him, that I think were also one of his favorite pairs, you may remember they were like neon yellow and blue at the bottom. They had a massive hole. I actually did mend them a week earlier in different spots, but they were beyond mending, honestly. So I let him pick some minis for a second or a new sort of replacement pair because they were getting quite small as well. I knitted them for him last year. And I try really hard not to interfere so much with my son's color choices for socks because I do want him to go mad. But of course my sort of inner control freak sometimes questions them. But he chose these minis. I have one of them here. I think they're both West Yorkshire Spinners. I got them in a mini swap a few years ago. And he chose the dark blue because it has sparkle, so clearly the glitter makes all the difference. And initially I wasn't sure about his color choices, but you know what? I think they're actually fine. I think they're quite fun. So I did a 52 stitch sock. As you can see, I do heel flap and gussets for my son. I don't usually do them, but I find they're better for him. And also, I feel like if you're not sure about the size or someone has growing feet, I feel like these heels accommodate a bit more than a short row heel or an afterthought heel, which either it fits or it doesn't. So I tend to make these heels for my son. They work really well. And then after picking up the stitches for the gusset, then I changed the colors and I did 12 row stripes of the mini skeins. So they look huge. I haven't actually tried them on him, but I think they'll be fine. They should be around a size 29 to 30 EU, probably more like 30. So yeah, kitty socks are done, which is good. Can you believe, I think I had like 2 weeks of not knitting any socks, and then I knit these, which I feel like these socks never really quite count because they're not adult socks. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should cast on some socks sometime soon. For the main color, I should mention, I, for the first time, used the grey Yarnsmith sock yarn, which I think is a company affiliated with Wool Warehouse here in the UK. And I didn't like it so much in the cake skein, whatever it comes in. Of course, I don't have it to show you. I bought, I think, the grey and a navy a while ago when they were on sale. They were very, very affordable, and I just wanted plain colors for heels and cuffs and toes. But actually knitting with it, I really like it. It feels really nice. So yeah, I was quite surprised by that. And they are done. So those are my 2 finished objects. I have not worked on my old compass sweater, disappointingly, but I have made some progress on other whips. So as you probably remember, I am working on a Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague as my travel project, and this has almost exclusively been knit like on the train, waiting for many doctor's appointments that we've had in November. And in meetings. So I had like a 2-hour Zoom meeting the other day and just went to town on my hat, and I love it. I think it's really, really beautiful. And I'm about 5 centimeters off from where I'll start the decreases. So yeah, that is my goal for today. Later, watching the F1, hopefully I'll make it at least to the decreases, if not more. Yeah, I think it is so pretty. It's such a like galaxy color. It's a little bit darker actually. It's more like this. And the yarn that I am using is some super duper old stash. It is Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the colorway Spectrum. And I actually think using these merino singles bases for Musselburgh hats might be like the perfect use for them, because yes, they will go a tiny bit fuzzy, but it's so beautiful and soft. And my son recently has become picky when it comes to hats. He finds everything itchy, which is a problem. I will admit, for a quick second, because he's very, very particular about hats and how they fit. It's not easy to knit hats for him at the moment. I was very briefly tempted to just buy him a hat and be done, which is not what the knitter should do, but oh well. But yeah, maybe something like this could be an option for him. Obviously, this is my size. This will be for me. But this is beautiful. So yeah, hopefully this should be finished next time I show it to you. I also have worked a little bit on my Alexander shawl by Twinset and Pearls. So for this, I'm using 2 skeins of Ted Knits yarn, which I got at the Make Joy Festival in Woolwich in the beginning of November, I think. And Ted was wearing that shawl and I loved it. And I got, well, I meant to get 2 skeins to knit the shawl, but then I got 2 sets of 2 skeins because I couldn't decide on colors. But I did eventually go with my first sort of choice that I initially thought I would do. So this is the Alexander shawl, which is a little bit crinkled, by Twinset and Pearls on Ravelry. It's just a really fun shawl with sort of garter stitch stripes, which is reversible, which I find really handy for these shawls. And I like how, like, the further away you are in these sections, the colors blend together. So I think it's quite clever, and I could see this working in a lot of different color combinations. And I have also already influenced a couple of people to start them. A couple of my friends are also knitting them, which is fun. And it's really interesting. I've seen one by my friend Robin with very, very low contrast, which also looks cool. And then obviously the ones that have higher contrast, they just, yeah, it's a fun pattern. I'm just about ready to start section 3, which is like the last increase section, and then I will start going straight and then decreasing again. And I am knitting the medium size, which uses 2 skeins of sock yarn. And I've seen the shawl at the event, and it looked really big for a medium size shawl. So I think size medium will be plenty, and I could see myself knitting more of these. It's just whether I actually will, because you know me, I want to knit multiples of everything. And with some people like this, like with Olga sweater, with many petite knit sweaters, I do get the most out of my patterns and knit them many times. I think I've knit more than 10 flax sweaters. I counted the other day and I can't even remember. So I do tend to re-knit things, but I'm not sure about this one. We'll see. So that is my Alexander shawl. And then, where should we start? Let's start with some crinkling. So last week I showed you this book which I got, which is the 52 Weeks of Scrap Yarn book, which I got slightly discounted because I found a version with a supposedly damaged edge. I think it's actually perfectly fine. And I fell in love with this shawl on the cover, which is the Conpeto Candy shawl. And I said I might cast it on, and I did. And honestly, you guys, I don't know what to do about it. I don't think I will continue. But this is what I've done. So I chose a grey cone of woolly knit. I think it's called Morning Frost, as my background color. And then I got some leftovers that I thought might work. I sort of went with mostly solid leftovers. And I started. And this is where we are. And the texture is beautiful. But this is so slow, and like the stitches, they're really quite hard on your hands. And I've already adapted it a little bit because there's a lot of make one pearls, which I thought I just didn't work very well for my hands. I can do them, but to do them all the time. So I have adapted the pattern slightly. So instead of the make one pearls, I will make yarn over the row before on the right side rows, and then I will purl those through the back loop, which gives the same effect. Like, it looks the same. It works really well, but I spent hours and hours on this, and I've barely, with maybe I've got 4 inches, and I'm just not sure if I love it enough for that. I could do something else with these colors, with like the gray and the mini skeins, which I know it wouldn't have this beautiful texture, but also, I mean, I need at least like 2 meters of this to make this into a wrap. That's a big commitment. And I've been looking at the Sea Glass cowl, which is just like a 1x1 stranded colorwork cowl. And I think it wouldn't be the same effect, but it would also be cool and be much more enjoyable to knit. Or obviously, and there's many different patterns I could use that have some kind of strapping or, combination of a background and a color pop. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one, honestly. Let me know what you think, but I think if I had endless amounts of time, I would do it. I still think the pattern is beautiful. The finished shawl is stunning. I just don't know if I want to put myself through it, because there have been quite a few shawls where I have just persevered and then I actually haven't worn them as much. So yeah, we shall see on that one. On a similar note, I was going through my whips the other day, because I would like to have a few whips sort of when I start the new year. And I don't have that many. But as you will probably remember, I do still have my other Osaka scarf. So I finished Osaka scarf number 2. I haven't finished Osaka scarf number 1, which is just like a mohair tube scarf. And again, I will finish that one, but it's in hibernation for now. I just don't want to do it right now. I forced myself to make the first one and finish it, but yeah, it's not happening. So that one's going in hibernation. So yeah, that means I have the Iris sweater, I have the Alexander shawl, we're not talking about the Osaka wrap. I finished my son's socks. And the Musselburgh hat, which is close to being done. And I think like a pair of socks or a Musselburgh hat I will always have for commuting and easy knitting. But I decided to instead cast on a new project. And when I got this yarn out, this is yarn that I thought I got for Christmas from my husband last year. But I think I actually got it for my birthday 1.5 years ago. So it's about time I use it. So this is yarn that I picked and told him to buy for me for my birthday. This is a Rowan Tweed Haze, which is a 40% mohair, 39% alpaca, 10% polyamide, 8% cotton and 3% polyester yarn in the shade 550, which is beautiful. It never shows up, but it's like a gray, and then it's got mostly pink, red, and brown tweed flecks in it. And I got 5 balls of this. Like I said, I wished for it for a birthday or something. And can you believe it? My idea back then was to make this into a second Sunday cardigan by Petite Knit. And I'm actually doing it. I'm actually following my plan that I made a long time ago. So what I did is I got this out. I actually really love working with this yarn, I will say. And I swatched, and just by chance, I got the gauge needed for my Sunday cardigan. I knit the Sunday cardigan, I think, pretty much a year ago out of Sandnes Fritidsgarn, which is a very sort of heavy wool yarn. And I've worn that cardigan a lot. It's been really, really useful. But that was a little bit hard on my hands to knit with, because obviously you're knitting with large needles at a large gauge, and I find that sometimes a bit exhausting. So what should be a quick project wasn't that quick. But for this one, I'm enjoying the yarn so much. This one is actually going super fast. I think I knit all of this. So I've just split for the sleeves. I've done the entire yoke in 2 days, 2.5 days. And I haven't had that much time to knit. Like, this just flew off my needles. And yeah, this will be done by Christmas, I think. This should be done very, very soon, unless I start doing other things, which is always a possibility, especially because I do need to start an Advent project tomorrow. But yeah, look at it. It's very, very fluffy, as you might expect. So like I said, it's a Sunday cardigan by Petite Knit. It is knit top down. The original has you fold over the rib, which I didn't do for my first one. I just knit the regular length and left it, which I quite like. But for this one, I've done a little bit less. So it's going to be higher up than your folded over collar, but not as high up as if you knit the full length. And then, I mean, this wide rib will only really show once I'm wearing it. But yeah, I split for the sleeves, so now it's just stockinette going back and forth. It is very fluffy. I don't know if this might not be a cardigan that will look great in 10 years time. I think this one probably will go even more fuzzy as I wear it, but I think this will actually be really, really useful for me. It is incredibly soft. I'm really enjoying the yarn, like I said. It'll be quite light because, well, I only have 5 50-gram balls of this, and I've pretty much only just started my second ball, so I should have plenty of yarn. And it'll be like a light but very, very warm cardigan to throw over. And I found the fit on this, on me, on my shoulders, on my body type, it actually has worked quite well. So I think what I will do is finish this ball of yarn and then knit the sleeves, and then I can see in terms of how long I want to make it and how long I can make it. So I'm thinking either it'll be slightly cropped, or if I have loads of yarn left, I might make it like a long cardigan, but I don't want it to be an awkward in between. So yeah, we shall see. But I think yarn-wise, I should be good. And yeah, this has been really lovely to knit. I didn't know if I would love the yarn as much as I did. I have used the thinner version of this. Is it called Fine Haze? For a scarf, a sort of lilac scarf, if you remember that. And this is the thicker version, and I am enjoying it a lot. It's obviously like a fragile yarn, but it doesn't pull apart as like a unspun, Nutiden, that kind of yarn would. But it has sort of similar qualities. Like, it's very soft, it's very fluffy, and yeah, like I would say this is softer than some of the like more budget merino kid-silk mohairs that you can get. I'm really, really enjoying it. And again, I think this will be one that pills. This one will be one that won't look pristine forever, but I don't mind. I think as long as you know going in what you'll get, I think that's fine. And obviously you knit the button band as you go. As with my last one, I don't think I'll even put buttons on it, because I don't button up my stuff. And if I do, I can always put in like afterthought buttonholes. It should be fine. But most likely, with all of my cardigans, I will just leave it as it is and wear it open fronted. So that is my Sunday sweater. I'm just trying to think if I forgot anything else. I probably do. Oh, I do have the yarn here for my socks, actually. This is the Yarn Smith sock yarn. It comes in these big cakes. I don't know what it costs now, but when I got it, it was very affordable. I think this is when they just released it. And it looks a bit like plasticky, but actually it's really, really nice once it's knit up. So, who knew? Right, sorry, I feel like I'm speeding through this. My son and husband are currently out, but I have a feeling they won't be for very long. And I've sort of spent my morning ever since going for my morning run. I was just sort of waiting for them to leave, and then they wouldn't. And now they finally have, and my brain is just like spinning. Yeah, so this is what I have been working on. Like I said, as soon as I started that cardigan, I've just sort of ignored everything else and worked on that for almost 2.5 days straight, whenever I've had time, obviously. And it's nice because at the moment I don't get that much knitting time, I think. Like there's just always something else going on. And it's nice to have that one project that grows really, really quickly. I think because I kept measuring for the increases and all of that. And sort of 2 rows, like one right side, one wrong side row, added a centimeter. So that is very, very satisfying. So yeah, that is what has been going on knitting wise. In terms of life updates, there's not that much to tell you. We do have a plan to get our leaking roof terrace fixed, which honestly cannot happen soon enough because we've had a lot of rain. And obviously the amount of rain is not good if you have a leak. So we'll see. Maybe next week, maybe not. It depends on the weather because they need like 2 or 3 days without rain, ideally. So we shall see. I am saying this as it is beautifully sunny outside today. It's freezing but sunny, but it's been raining a lot and I think it's going to continue to rain a lot. But yeah, we have sorted everything out. It will not be as expensive as we first expected, so that is great news. Great news for the yarn budget. And it should be sorted by Christmas. So please keep crossing your fingers. And yeah, I mean, there's so many house projects we should be doing, and we still have a wall in our sort of between our kitchen and our living room that we stripped and just haven't gotten around to doing anything with it. There's just so many things that should be happening, but like my son keeps having like health challenges and life keeps doing life things, honestly. So it's just been a bit all over the place, but we are trying to embrace it. We've already been doing a fair bit of like Christmas baking and yesterday we went to Aldi and got some German Christmas snacks, which I always love. It's like the highlight of the year for me to get all the German Christmas goodies. My mum sent over a care package with a Stollen as well. So yeah, we're really trying to lean into the Christmas spirit this year to make it nice, have loads of candles, and my son's been decorating. I haven't really decorated much, but I've just let him go wild with window stickers in his room and all of that. We still have the mysterious story of the missing Christmas tree, because we used to have a proper large Christmas tree. And I remember when we moved into this house almost 3 years ago, we had a discussion whether to take it or not because it wasn't great. But I don't remember like doing anything else with it. I don't remember donating it. We wouldn't have thrown it away. So in my mind, it must be somewhere, but we also haven't seen it ever since we moved because the last couple of years, because we have been actually going to Germany for Christmas, we never bothered putting up the massive tree. We just put up a small one. But this year we are staying around, which I'm really excited about actually. And so we need a big Christmas tree, but we can't find it. So we need to get a move on and figure it out. And if we really have gotten rid of it, we need to get a Christmas tree because I did promise my son. So yeah, that's one challenge. Ideally that we were going to solve this weekend, but it is Sunday afternoon and we have not solved it. So we shall see. Yeah, so that is basically what I've been up to, what we've been up to. I feel like I'm a little bit clueless at the moment with my knitting. I'm just sort of doing whatever feels right, but also that's the joy of it, right? We don't always have to have a plan. The only thing I do need to plan is my advent knitting, because I once again have gotten the advent calendar with the JC Rennie minis by, is it We County Yarns? I believe it's We County Yarns. Every year they have like a mini ball advent, and they give you a pattern as well, which I did 2 years ago. I don't think I'll do the pattern this year. I just wanted the 24 mini balls of JC Rennie, because we all know how much I love JC Rennie. I of course went for the rainbow option, and I did get the unwrapped version because I'm cheap, and I like it. I've seen all the colors, I like it, and so I want to make some kind of probably scarf where I just knit a color a day. The two options right now are either I'll just literally do a stockinette tube, because I want something where I can comfortably just knit through like my 7 to 8 centimeters a day. I need something easy. And I think a rainbow scarf in plain stockinette, like in a tube, I think that'll be really good. I think that'll be really timeless, and I love the yarn. I don't need to do anything fancy with it. In fact, sometimes I tend to wear the simpler things more. The other option would be to do some kind of easy, like I was thinking of doing 1x1 color work, but not like the sea glass scarf. At least that's on my plan, where like the colors change, but in a way that they like line up, the stripes line up vertically, as you would do with like corrugated ribbing. And then so the first day, say if it starts on a red, the first day I would do like stripe red, do like color work with red and orange, and then the next time I would do orange and yellow, and so on. So that's another thing that I think would be really, really fun. So I just need to decide. I even thought about it, and thought about starting it today, which is a day early, I know. But if I did that anyways, I would be a day ahead. But then again, on Christmas Eve, I won't have time to finish my scarf. So if I finish it on the 23rd, that's fine. And if I also get too busy, I'll have a bonus day. Like, I'm not super religious about sticking with the Advent. Like, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. Some kind of tube scarf, either stockinette or color work, or of course I might just go like completely crazy and do something else. If you're watching this on the 30th, please do let me know. If you're watching this after December 1st, I probably will have made up my mind. But yeah, so that is another thing that I need to think through. And luckily I have tomorrow off. Unluckily, my son is also off, so I'll be doing kiddie stuff. But it should give me some time to, crack on with Advent. And yeah, I'm quite excited about it. So yeah, that has been my update, both knitting and life-wise. I hope that wherever you are healthy and safe. Please do let me know what you're knitting on. If you're knitting Advent projects, do let me know. I'm always interested. Oh, I should say, last thing, sorry. I know that, is it Jamie Lomax? Oh God, I can't remember. There's someone who has done a sort of similar scarf, but it's not as simple as just like knitting like a color work rib. They sort of switch around the colors a bit. That's also something I have been looking into, but I think I need a contrast color for that. And I don't know if I want to do that. I have loads of JC Rennie, but do I want to do that? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I need to look back into Stash. I don't know. I really don't know. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what Advent projects you're doing, if you're doing any. If you're not, if you didn't get a Yarny Advent calendar, especially not one of those like really expensive, outrageous ones, don't feel bad. Don't buy into the FOMO. I just love hearing whatever you're crafting and knitting. And I hope you have a good start to your Advent, if that is something you are excited about. And I shall hopefully talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.